Welcome back to Fight Talk. Kevin Holland versus Daniel Rodriguez. This fight's going to be a very entertaining fight. I'm excited for this one. A very good matchup here. We got the superhero, trash talking Kevin Holland, the trailblazer. We all know what he brings to the table, man. A very exciting fighter. One thing that worries me in this fight is his defense. Despite that, he manages to get the job done with some dramatic finishes that we've seen in the cage recently. Obviously, his last fight against Tim Means, he put him away with a beautiful combination of punches before finishing him off with a Darce choke in the second round. And a Bravo choke it was, wasn't it? And then a common factor that Daniel Rodriguez has, that he's also finished Tim Means back in 2020 with a submission, with a guillotine. And Rodriguez here has got a pretty impressive record coming into this fight. Only got 2 losses. One, which is a controversial decision loss against Nicholas Dalby, where a lot of people say it was quite close and so forth. And then earlier on in his career, when he was obviously a lot less experienced, back in 2017, he had a loss. But other than that, a very impressive record in the UFC with wins over the likes of Kevin Lee, like we saw in his last fight, Dwight Grant, obviously Tim Means, as he said, Mike Perry. And now we see him go up against Kevin Holland. And it's, for me, I'm leaning towards Kevin Holland, right? But it's for me, it's just the lack of defense. It worries me. Like, we see Kevin Holland get hit with shots, and like he gets semi-wobbled by, the likes of Tim Means, Cowboy Oliveira. And I think Daniel Rodriguez is a heavy hitter, man, and he's good with his shots. He's got a good eye for punches. I was looking at his UFC stats, and his significant strikes per minute. It's like eight significant strikes per minute. I don't know how, if that's like an error or something, or if that's some sort of typo, but that's a pretty impressive stat.
That is very impressive. If that's not a typo, that is very impressive.
Yeah, and so I think Kevin Holland, I think he's got everything in it to win this, but it's just his lack of defense. How he charges in, and I think Rodriguez is a little bit more calculated. It makes me a little bit worried. It seems to me, though, in some fights that Rodriguez actually has a little bit of a slack output, like in the Dolby fight. I think like one of the rounds they just looked like he wasn't doing enough, and yeah, maybe that stats is off, the 8 significant strikes per minute. But in any case, dangerous fight here for Kevin Holland. Leaning towards him slightly, but wouldn't be surprised if Rodriguez gets a job done. What do you think here?
Well, I'm leaning towards Holland, definitely. I like Holland. I like the way he fights. He always comes out, gives me an exciting performance. But you're right in saying that it will be difficult for him because Holland doesn't really like to play on the outside and control his space and fight at a distance. He likes to go in. He does like to brawl, and Rodriguez is built for that more. So like once he's inside, he always gets that power shot. And as we see in his, as you were saying, he gets them power shots and he stumbles and he takes over because he does have the more advantage in the inside. But Holland, man, he is a great fighter. He can get down. He can go down. He can strike. His grappling is good. He has six submissions, I believe. So we don't know from him. He can pull it out. If he gets close and Rodriguez is overpowering him, Holland can get a submission, but Rodriguez does have some good defense. He is strong on the grapple defense, so it will be a hard one for Holland, but I reckon he will pull it out of the bag for us. His reach is 81 in inches, 81 inches in reach, and Rodriguez is 74. He needs to use that 7-inch reach advantage to his advantage. Use that, and he should pull out the bag.
See, this is what I was saying. This is what I was seeing earlier, is that Kevin Holland has that height and reach over a lot of his opponents, but he gives it up, and a lot of his opponents end up just literally walking him down and landing like big right hands, like we saw with Oliveira.
Yeah.
Like, Kevin Holland sometimes doesn't use his height and reach. I mean, he uses it sparingly, really.
Yeah,
he doesn't really fight from the outside. Nicholas Dalby, a shorter fighter with shorter limbs, fights a lot more on the outside than,
he controls.
You know what I mean?
Really well.
Exactly, and that's one thing that Kevin Holland lacks, I think, being a 6'3" whatever fighter with an 81-inch reach. Kevin Holland's style just creates knockouts. Like, either he's getting hurt and dropped, or he's going to knock his opponent out. And so let's see what happens. An exciting one. Let me know who you think's going to win in the comment section below. Who are you going with here, T?
I think, yeah, I'm definitely gonna go Holland in this one. I think he's gonna give us an exciting show. He's gonna come out. He's gonna go toe to toe with Rodriguez, and they're gonna put on an exciting show. Rodriguez is gonna trade him back. He's gonna send back the blows, just like we know he can, and it's gonna be an exciting one. But I'm gonna lean towards Holland in this one.
How do you see him doing it? By finish, or do you think it's gonna be decision?
Nah, it will be hard to finish Rodriguez. If he does finish him, it will be like third round. I'm guessing like third round he could finish him, but I think we might see a submission.
You think we're gonna see a Kevin Holland submission?
Yeah, we might see a Kevin Holland submission.
T going with a Kevin Holland maybe submission, but a late finish.
What
I'm gonna say Kevin Holland's gonna finish Daniel Rodriguez. For the reason being is the pace and the explosivity that I don't think Daniel Rodriguez is used to. I think it's gonna shock him. Kevin Holland, I think, is a sniper like fighter, despite his lack of defense, like I mentioned earlier. And he's a little bit unstable, a little bit clumsy. He's got some serious speed and firepower, and it's because of the frame he has, the skinny limbs and the speed.
You're alright, but as we said, he does fight a bit brawlish. It is like it's not. If he could mix that in all in with more accuracy, or with more technique instead of coming in and just using his power and his striking ability, then yeah, but it is gonna be a good fight. Rodriguez will put up a very good fight against him. I think we may even see Holland lose.
So there we have it, a close one we're going to go with. But we're both leaning towards Kevin Holland here. Let us know who you think is going to win in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and we'll be back breaking down more fights for UFC 279.